In the headlines, 8 million youths complete voter registration ahead of 2023 elections. Academic Staff Union of Universities extends strike by 4 weeks. Police kill suspected IPOB members in gun battle in Delta State. And on the foreign scene, Osama bin Laden's deputy al-Zawahiri killed in a U.S. drone strike. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Now the news in full. The Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party will meet on Wednesday as part of efforts to appease Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike ahead of the 2023 general elections. Wike, who held a meeting with some PDP governors on Sunday, has expressed dissatisfaction with how the party chose its vice presidential candidate, among other issues. In a statement on Monday, Chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, Walid Jibril, said the PDP is not in a crisis but needs to settle certain grievances. Governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party in Rivers State, Senator Magnus Abe, says his choice by the party to fly its ticket at the 2023 contest is similar to opening a closed political space to provide the people an alternative platform. Abe speaking during a visit to the SDP National Secretariat in Abuja. Trustee Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Magnus Abe, until recently, was a member of the All Progressives Congress, APC. He left the party after its governorship primary won by the candidate of the Rotimi Amechi's faction. But he found solace in the Social Democratic Party, SDP, who rewarded him with his governorship ticket after a standard bearer in the state quit the race voluntarily.
My appreciation and the appreciation of thousands of Rivers men and women who have joined the SDP over the last few weeks to the party for the opportunity that has been given to us to express ourselves politically in this nation. We believe that without people, a party is just a building and a flag. It's the people that make the party. And with the kind of influx of people that we're having into the SDP, it is clear that it is the emerging political force in the politics of Rivers State.
National Chairman of the SDP, Shehu Gabam, says the party is accommodating people with proven integrity if denied platform to aspire for political offices despite their track record of performance and surplus leadership credentials.
We have not made mistake, standing with the people of Rivers State. We have opened the space deliberately to ensure that credible people that matters, that believe in society, believe in the welfare of society, are given space in the political landscape of Nigeria. I've been to Rivers several times, and I know the candidate for years, for a very, very long time. We've been together in PDP right from the scratch. They have served River diligently. They have served the country as senator very diligently. So you have a track record, and there's no party that will not be proud to have you.
The party and its governorship candidate in Rivers State are optimistic that the people of the state are yearning for alternative candidates who will take them out of their current situation, irrespective of political party affiliation. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has officially shut down the online portal for the continuous voter registration exercise. A notice on the website said the CVR exercise has been suspended, while access to log in to check the status of completed applications will soon be restored. The Commission had pegged a deadline for the exercise on July 31, 2022, after an extension of the first deadline of June 30. The Commission's last update on the registration exercise on Monday, July 25, indicated 11 million Nigerians have so far registered. Similarly, INEC announced that over 8 million young Nigerians have been captured in the recently concluded continuous voter registration exercise. The commission said youth demography has been touted as a major deciding factor in the upcoming elections, and the figures seem to back the theory. According to INEC, there were over 10.4 million fresh registrants, while about 13 million persons completed their registrations. Meanwhile, INEC has warned Nigerians not to fall victims to fake websites advertising voter registration. In a statement signed by National Commissioner Festus Okoye, INEC stressed that it has concluded the continuous voter registration exercise for the 2023 general elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission has closed the continuous voter registration. Campaign and sensitization of voters has therefore officially commenced ahead of the 2023 general election. Yusuf Akoku reports.
With incidences of widespread vote trading in the recent staggered elections held in Ekiti and Osun states, civil society organizations have stepped up campaigns to ensure that what happened in these states are not repeated in 2023. This sensitization exercise is meant to educate people on the importance of their votes in shaping and determining their destinies.
They should understand that the awareness is high now, and that wouldn't fly anymore. They may have won in the past, but they won't win anymore. So it's high time they begin to devise a new strategy of either aligning with the young people or finding a new strategy to winning an election. And that basically has to do with delivering the dividends of democracy if given leadership mandates at any level.
Citizens who have registered during the just concluded Continuous Voters Registration, CVR, are being advised to go beyond collecting their permanent voters card by ensuring that they exercise their franchise.
Coming out to register has ended now, ended just yesterday. No, just the day before yesterday. So the new phase now is that people should now come out and vote. It's not just, it doesn't just end by acquiring the voters card, but you should also come out and vote. We have 18 registered political parties by INEC. Out of these 18 registered political parties, for records, 15 forwarded in their presidential candidates. So it's good for me. We have been moving around telling people that these are the 18 registered political parties, these are the presidential candidates. Come and vote for the candidate of your choice and make the difference.
This music track titled Value Your Vote Niger is expected to resonate with Nigerians as they get set to make decisions about their future.
Value your vote Niger, value your vote Niger, value your vote Niger, together we will build a better future.
Yusuf Akoku, Trust Television News, Abuja.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities has extended its nearly 6-month-old strike by another month. The union, which took the decision after its NEC meeting in Abuja on Monday, said in a statement that the union has not heard from Minister of Education Adamu, even as the 2 weeks Buhari gave the minister to resolve the strike elapses on Tuesday. The statement signed by ASU President Emmanuel Osodeke said the ongoing trial of the suspended Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, on allegations of monumental fraud vindicated its rejection of the IPPIS. Calling on the National Information Technology Development Agency to release reports of the latest tests on the University Transparent and Accountability Solution vis-à-vis the IPPIS, the union vowed to resist any attempt by the government to truncate the deployment of UTAS with all available legitimate means. Away from that story, the Delta State Police Command has neutralized 3 armed men suspected to be members of the proscribed Indigenous people of Biafra at Obada quarters along Akoku Igbo Road. Addressing journalists at the force headquarters in Asaba, the Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Ari Ali, revealed that the patrol team attached to Ila Division while on stop-and-search duty at Obada quarters were attacked by the suspected IBOB members. He added that his team engaged them in a fierce gun duel which led to the death of the hoodlums, while other members of the gang escaped with gunshot injuries.
That paid off this early morning at about 07:30 hours when the DPO Ila and his men were out on stop and search. And the sinister group came in and attacked them, but luck ran against them as they were repelled after a fierce gun battle. Our men were able to chase them, brought one of them down, and that happened to be the leader of the syndicate.
Worried by the increasing number of unregistered motorcycles plying the road and the urgent need to ensure that all two-wheeled vehicles are duly captured in the National Vehicle Identification Scheme database, the Acting Corps Marshal Dauda Alibiu has directed Corps commanders to commence full enforcement on any motorcycles seen without appropriate registration. A statement by the Corps Public Education Officer Bisi Kazim said the order was necessitated by the state of insecurity and the need to curb it by bringing to a halt the continuous operations of these categories of vehicles without registration on the roads, while laying particular emphasis on the security implications of not capturing all motorcycles in the national database. The Acting Corps Marshal charged the sector commanders to immediately liaise with the boards of internal revenue in their respective states, set up a task force in conjunction with the Nigerian police and other security agencies where necessary, including Vehicle Inspection Office and other stakeholders, for effective enforcement. The Acting Corps Marshal said that the operation is aimed at getting unregistered motorcycles registered and documented in the national database. Federal Capital Territory Minister Mohammed Bello has reopened the popular Millennium Park 2 years after its closure due to the outbreak of COVID-19 in 2020. The park, which was closed down at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, was developed and donated to the residents of the FCT some years ago by a private company. The minister lamented that almost 95% of the parks in Abuja have totally derailed from the FCTA PAC policy. He appealed to the media and the public to support the FCTA's efforts towards rediscovering Abuja and urged those opposing the FCTA PAC policy to have a rethink and support the administration in the journey to transform all parks. You're still watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Best practices to eliminate infant mortality. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our major stories. We told you that 8 million youths complete voter registration ahead of 2023 elections. We also told you that Academic Staff Union of Universities extend strike by 4 weeks. Moving on to more news, legal suit involving Kannywood actress Hadiza Gabon has taken a new twist as her counsel, Mubarak Jibril, told the Sharia court sitting in Kaduna that the life of his client is in danger. Hadiza was dragged before the court by one Bala Musa, a civil servant, for refusing to marry him after spending 396,000 naira on her. The actress had denied knowing the complainant.
Defense counsel Mubarak Jibril told the judge that with the deteriorating security situation in the country, he fears for his safety, including that of the actress. According to him, they are worried every day the case comes up at the court because he had to sneak out of the court premises. In his reaction, counsel to the complainant, Naira Murchala, opposed the idea for her to be absent during the hearing, insisting the accused must always be in court. On the safety concerns of both accused and her lawyer, Murchala said he may not object to their application on the safety because the country is not safe for everyone, but they need to put it in writing for him to study.
This is something that is not strange. Everyone's security is very, very crucial. My own security is important. Her own security is important. The security of some other people is very, very important in the court, including the complainant.
It's nothing much. We make an application that applicant will call it interlocutory application.
The judge, Khalil Rilwan Kwadei, held that the court will consider the safety of both parties during the next sitting. The court asked the accused counsel to submit his application in writing. No new date is mentioned for the next hearing in the case.
Nigeria on Monday joined the rest of the world to mark the World Breastfeeding Week with a series of activities tailored towards enhancing the practice of optimal breastfeeding among nursing mothers. Stakeholders at the commemorative event sued for the incorporation of 6 months exclusive breastfeeding, as well as the extension of infant breastfeeding for at least 2 years in order to achieve the 50% target by 2025. The report.
Inadequate breast milk during the formative years of children, according to these stakeholders, leads to high stunting rates and other underlying health challenges for the child.
For girls to learn from that age that breastfeeding is important, it's good for their health, and it's something they should have in their brain and have in their mind and practice when they start to have children. It will be important and critical because we are having demographic change and we have new generations of girls and women.
About 80,000 child deaths are reported to be prevented annually when optimal breastfeeding is practiced. Mothers also benefit enormously from breastfeeding, which helps to prevent postpartum bleeding and reduce the woman's risk to breast and ovarian cancers.
To boost breastfeeding through support and education, there are calls on government to allocate increased resources to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding policies and programs, especially for the most vulnerable families.
So we are working with the Federal Ministry of Education to promote the education of the girl child, which is key to unlock access to economic and social opportunities. Educated girls, you agree with me, will grow to become women who are empowered to cater for themselves, their families, and communities.
The exclusive breastfeeding rate in the country is put at 29%, meaning that over 70% of infants in Nigeria are denied the nutritious benefits of breast milk in their formative years. Only 9% of organizations, according to statistics, have a workplace breastfeeding policy, indicating that mothers lack the enabling environment to optimally breastfeed their babies.
When you say you want to breastfeed exclusively, a good number of mothers work either in formal sectors or informal sectors, and you need policies that enable them. The 6 months paid maternity leave that we see in Kaduna State, in Lagos State, in Ekiti State, and I think one other state are powerful, because when she initiates and you give her enough maternity leave to practice exclusive breastfeeding, that's encouraging.
Experts say exclusive breastfeeding of up to 6 months and at least 2 years breastfeeding of infants not only guarantees a safe, nutritious and accessible food source for babies and young children, but also offers a powerful line of defense against disease and all forms of child malnutrition, thereby reducing infant mortality. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Stakeholders have described the establishment of the Agricultural Mechanization Institute as a strategy to revolutionize farming methods in the country. This was at the groundbreaking ceremony of the permanent site of Agricultural Mechanization and Equipment Development in Lafia, Nasarawa State. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report as presented in our studio.
The groundbreaking ceremony of Agricultural Mechanization and Equipment Development Institute Lafia is part of the implementation strategies of the directive of President Muhammadu Buhari for the National Agency for Science and Equipment Infrastructure to effectively revolutionize farming methods and food processing using technology. Executive Vice Chairman Mohammed Haruna said the institute will revolutionize agricultural activities in the country.
Naseni has succeeded in the development of some relevant equipment and machines in the food value chain from cultivation, planting, weeding, harvesting, post-harvest, and food preservation. This institute is mandated to build on this success and serve as a pilot site for the implementation of agreement on agriculture between Nigeria and Czech Republic.
Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State and Emir of Lafia, Sidi Bagay, said the establishment of the institute will encourage the current generation to embrace farming.
I need to commend the federal government for the establishment of the Agricultural Machinery and Equipment Development Institute, AMEDI, which is aimed at creating wealth and poverty alleviation.
This is the real beginning of the Green Revolution. There cannot be agriculture without mechanization. Agriculture can only prosper where there is mechanization. Our people are tired. Our farmers are getting old. They are getting weak. The younger generation would not like to go the same way with the older generation.
The two state leaders thanked the federal government for setting the institute in the state, even as similar institute was also launched in Kefi.
A Nigerian has tested positive for monkeypox in New Delhi, the Indian capital. His case brought the total number of infected people in the Asian country to 6. According to Indian officials, the 35-year-old who is now in a government hospital is a Delhi citizen and Delhi resident, and has no recent international travel history. The World Health Organization recently declared the monkeypox virus a global health emergency. Away from Nigeria, United States drone strikers killed Al-Qaeda chief Ayman al-Zawahiri at a hideout in Kabul, President Joe Biden said on Monday, declaring that justice had been delivered to the families of the 9/11 attacks. Zawahiri assassination is the biggest blow to Al-Qaeda since U.S. Special Forces killed Osama bin Laden in 2011. It was the first known over-the-horizon strike by the U.S. on a target in Afghanistan since Washington withdrew its forces from the country August last year, days after the Taliban swept back to power. An associate of the far-right 3%ers militia has been sentenced to more than 7 years in prison for joining a mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Guy Raffitt of Wiley, Texas, was convicted by a jury in March of 5 felony charges, including bringing a gun onto the Capitol grounds and obstructing an official proceeding. U.S. District Judge Dabney Frederick issued a sentence of 7 years and 3 months on Monday, the longest yet for anyone involved in the riot. Previously, the longest sentence for a January 6 case had been 63 months, but in those two cases, the defendants opted not to go to trial and to plead guilty instead. And finally, in sports, Taiwo Liadi has added another silver to Nigeria's medal haul at the ongoing 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Liadi, who competed in the women's 76-kilogram weightlifting event, set a junior record, Commonwealth Games record, to finish second behind England's Maya Leila, who set a new Commonwealth Games record in the clean and jerk with a lift of 128 kg. To set a junior record, Liadi lifted 120 kg in the clean and jerk to beat other 11 competitors to the silver medal. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.